One of the cool ways we can use myViewBoard is through a tool called Pop Quiz. And Pop Quiz is just a way for students to submit their answers directly into myViewBoard. Now, the way this works is you could have a problem written on the board like this. You could ask the question verbally, or it could be part of something else, maybe your slide deck. The students will go to the whiteboard portal and they'll sign in. If you're not sure how to do that, go watch our video on how to access the portal. And then they're gonna choose the option that says Pop Quiz. When they open this window, I'm gonna have Haley do it right now, it gives them their own digital whiteboard inside their browser. And if they have a touch device, they can touch and write, or they can use their trackpad to write. Or if you can't write, you can also type your response. This allows you then to send it with that blue send button. It looks kind of like a paper airplane. So after Haley sends her response, I can see down here in the bottom right, this is where my sign-in window is. It's really hard to see, but there's a little blue dot there. That's my notification area, and it's just identifying that someone's interacted inside the portal. And when I click on it, I'll get a notification area. It says 6 right now. This is a good indicator if everybody's participated. So if you have 30 participants and your number is only 6, you've not given enough time for everybody to answer. If you click on the notifications, it'll show you who's responded. And then if I were to click on these names, it would open the Pop Quiz tool. But let's go ahead and take a look at how to open the Pop Quiz directly from myViewBoard. The way we do this is you're gonna find this icon here. This is called the Magic Box. And inside the Magic Box, there are 2 tabs, the Home tab and the All Features tab. Pop Quiz is actually in both of them. If you go to All Features, you can see Pop Quiz there in the middle. If we're on the Home tab, you can scroll down and you'll see Pop Quiz here. Now, when you open the Pop Quiz window, it is a little small. It's hard to see, but you can actually drag the edges if you want to resize the Pop Quiz window. There should be one over here. And all of your responses will populate here in the window. Now, there is a spot to write the question up at the top. Remember earlier I said you can kind of ask the question however you want to. I chose to have the question on my slide. So let's give you a little bit of navigation of what you see here. Again, responses come here. I can see this is Haley's response. If I needed to reset the session, I can do that over here. I also have the ability to display the QR code and the join information again from right here. Or I can go to my settings and you'll notice that I can change my Pop Quiz. For example, if I wanted to hide the names, I could make it anonymous. I can also choose to limit the answer 1 per participant, and that can be toggled on and off if I only want them to submit 1 answer. Now, if I come over here and I touch Haley's name, it will respond, or it'll show what her answer was. And if I wanted to expand it, I can touch the double arrows and it will make it larger. You also have teacher tools that you can use to annotate on top of this if you needed to, and then you can minimize the response to minimize it back again. And if I had a lot of responses, these would all populate here. If I need to hide the question area, there is also an option to hide the question area, and you'll see now it's only displaying the answers. And again, I can move this window around if I want to reposition it so I can see the question behind it. There's also a full screen button if I want to full screen it. And then there's a disk or save button. And what that does is it gives me the ability to save my Pop Quiz responses either to the panel or to my Google Drive. If I choose either of these options, what it does is it creates a folder for the Pop Quiz session. It does a timestamp, so the current date and time. And then inside that folder, it'll create a folder for each of your participants and then all of their responses in there. Since Haley only had 1 response, we'll only see 1 response from her. But if she had 6 responses, she would have 6 responses in the folder. If you've ever been a teacher and you've had dry erase boards and you had kids hold up those dry erase boards and show their answers, that's kind of what Pop Quiz is, right? It's a quick way to get instant feedback from all of your students using their devices and the myViewBoard software.